Welcome to True Grape. Our pick this week is the Quail's Gate Chenin Blanc 2012 from the Okanagan in BC, and it retails for $23.99. And I'm joined by Grant Stanley, winemaker at Quail's Gate. Thanks very much for coming back to Edmonton.
Oh, it's great to be here. Once a year.
Once a year.
Once a year trip to Edmonton. Wouldn't miss it for the world.
We can get you back here more. Chenin Blanc. We've talked before about the history of Quail's Gate and all, but Chenin Blanc, you don't see a lot of producers in the Okanagan making Chenin Blanc. You guys do a great job with it. One of the other producers that makes Chenin does a great job with it. How does Chenin do in the Okanagan, and why aren't there more producers that are working with it?
I guess you could say that it would be described as almost a varietal that's sort of lost its nobility somewhere along the line in the New World. We saw a lot of flabby Chenin Blancs coming out of California over the years, which hasn't done wonders for the varietal. South Africa, same deal, just a little too sweet. Not quite Loire. So I do think in terms of Chenin Blanc that Loire still holds the trophy for making beautiful, tacky, fascinating wines. And wine geeks gravitate to this varietal for that very reason. So, you know, we're sort of trying to change up the style a little bit in the Okanagan and make it a little drier, but still go for that classic Chenin, tacky, textural, acidic balm.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, with Chenin, I mean, one of the beauties, as I mentioned, I mean, is the acidity, is the beautiful minerality you can get from Chenin Blanc. Where are the vineyards for this Chenin located?
The vineyards are in two locations. They are just in the central Okanagan on the Mount Boucherie Plain, so just around the winery. And those are the oldest vines that are in this blend, and they're planted in '96. So they're getting a little bit of age on them now, and we find them to be very small berries. So viticulturally, very nice pulp to skin ratio with the berry size. And the other parcel comes from our Osoyoos vineyard that we only planted about 5 years ago, and we wanted to see what the sandy, loamy soils and a little bit more hot temperatures would do to Chenin, and it definitely makes it a more tropical, different kettle of fish down there. So we use that as a blender. It's small, maybe 10-15% of the blend, but it definitely adds some more tropical notes. The central Okanagan, much more lemon, lime, and that slaty mineral character that you speak of. Yeah.
Is there any plans to do more with Chenin?
Yeah, we've been planting it consistently now when we find the right vineyard sites, and of course we're still sort of sorting out our own vineyards by pulling out some varietals that haven't worked so well for us, and Chenin is still on our list of top 5 that we'd like to see increase and put in the ground. This is now close to 5,000 cases of wine that we're making of Chenin Blanc, so we're touching a lot of people with this wine, and in particular we're finding huge success with restaurants. This is a licensee, this is a trade wine because it just goes so well with seafood, and in particular in Vancouver, they love it with oysters and stuff down there.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. With your success with Chenin, have you seen other producers say, hey, you know, maybe, or the trade, or has there been any type of movement to say, hey, maybe we should all be doing more Chenin Blanc? No, I see a lot of, well, for a start, there hasn't been a lot of consensus yet in the Okanagan amongst wine producers as to what the varietals are that we wish to move on, and I think everybody still has a different idea of what their terroir provides to them. For us, we see Chenin as a real key varietal for our lineup, and in particular, the style we're making it in really seems to be very attractive, like a Sauvignon Blanc, much more of that dry, crisp style. It's a winner. Right. And with acidity, I think historically in the Okanagan, you mentioned, I mean, there was a lot of wines that perhaps had a lot of residual sugar. Didn't have the acidity to balance that out.
Yeah. Or people were maybe a little bit concerned about high acid wines in a northernmost viticulture region, maybe a little paranoid about having too much acid in the wines. Well, I don't have any of that, and I love acid, and so the first thing I did is when I came to Quail's Gate was tried to expose the great acidity, natural acidity, genuine acidity in all of the wines, and this is one that really enjoyed it the most, I think. And age-worthiness, you know, we've seen now that these wines stand up. I mean, their pHs are usually 2.9 to 3.1, so they will last forever.
Now, are you finding that the consumer also is starting to embrace acidity?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and the rest of the producers in the Okanagan are also tuning down their residuals, and we're seeing much more balanced wines across the board.
Fantastic. So let's go ahead and taste this thing.
Texture, all about texture and balance, and the acidity sort of dances on your palate. It's not a heavy, juicy acidity. It's more light and fresh, and that's why I think it goes so well with delicate seafoods. So.
Absolutely. What else would recommend? I mean, I think you're right that I think it's a natural with a lot of that West Coast cuisine.
Yeah.
But what else?
Cheese, also great for
yeah.
cheeses, fabulous for cheese, you
Absolutely.
know. Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic.
And I mean, I think, again, the older the wine gets, if you look at these wines 6, 7, 8 years in the bottle, the acidity is still there, but it just becomes more integrated with part of the wine. And there is a little bit of hot ferment in here as well to build texture in neutral oak barrels. And I think that actually starts to show itself as time goes on as well.
Fantastic. Our pick again this week is the Quail's Gate Chenin Blanc 2012 from the Okanagan in BC. It retails for $23.99. Grant, thanks so much.
Cheers.
Cheers.